Hey there, it's Pete Thorn. Welcome to my studio and welcome to another Wednesday Q&A where I answer the questions that you ask me via sending me an email to my Facebook music page, which is facebook.com/guitarnerd. So go there and ask me a question and I will try and get to it in one of these Q&A videos. So the first question comes from Andrew Schaefer, and he wants to know, he wants to get into commercial songwriting, and he says his home demos don't sound that good. And he's wondering if I had an $800 to $1,000, $1,000 kind of budget, would I get a used mic pre or something like that to help enhance my songs and sort of the sonics of my demos. Says he's got an M Audio 2496 sound card and a good PC and stuff, and just wants to up his game a little bit. You know, I think the most important thing is what interface you're using, because there's these great interfaces these days from companies like Apogee and from Universal Audio. I really like the interfaces from both those companies, and they've got terrific mic preamps in them, really. For example, I'm using the interface in my Universal Audio Apollo right now to record my voice. So I've got a Mojave condenser mic plugged in that's going right into the UA interface, and then a plug-in loaded up in the UA console program is I've got the API mic pre loaded up, and it's called the API Vision channel strip actually. And so I'm, recording my voice through that and compressing it. And the mic pre's in the in both the Universal Audio interfaces and in the Apogee stuff sound just great to me. The one thing that'll really up your game as far as the sonics and stuff for your demos are the plugins these days. I do so much in the box these days with plugins, EQs, compressors, and things like that. So a lot of these interfaces will come bundled with a suite of plugins. For the Apogee stuff, they're bundling Waves plugins with their interfaces, and with the UA interfaces, you get their own proprietary plugins, the UA plugins, which are just terrific. It sounds just great. I would say just get a hold of a great interface that comes along with a great plugin bundle, and really learn how to use it. Really learn how to dial in the included compression and equalizer plugins, and in the case of the UA stuff, the mic pre's and stuff are just terrific sounding. I mean, they've got great modeled mic pre's from like Neve and API, and then the UA 610 and 610A and 610B. Those sound just terrific to me, and they should be all you need to get like really, really good results. For sort of home demo recordings, certainly. So yeah, check that out. That would be where I would put my money into, either I guess the Apogee Duet or UA Apollo Twin would be the interfaces I would look at, and check out the plugin bundles they come with and just make a choice there. Get one of those, and I think that would be a great choice. Question number 2 comes from Randy Wilcox. He's wondering about a couple different things, actually. His first question was, how do I deal with noise that computer monitors make through the pickups on the guitar when I'm recording, especially I would assume with higher gain sounds. He says that stuff drives him crazy. Trying to just sit the right way and get rid of the noise. A lot of my Suhr guitars have their noiseless system in it, and it works really, really well. So the Suhrs tend to be quite quiet. With other guitars, and in this new studio I'm in, there's actually a lot of RF in here, I've noticed. So for like especially higher gain sounds and stuff, where you're sitting and where you position the guitar is really important. You have to kind of find that sweet spot. Even with humbuckers in this room, I find I kind of move around until I find the quietest place. There's no easy way to deal with it. You just, guitars with proper shielding, a guitar with a noiseless system, like I say, like the Suhrs, is very helpful. And beyond that, maybe good quality noise gate or something like that. And then when you record, go back and edit your recordings. So that you're clipping off right to the front end of where you start playing, and then you clip off the tail, maybe with a little bit of a fade or something like that. And any breaks where you stop playing, you can go through and edit out some of that stuff too. And that's kind of the best you can do. I don't know. That's it, really. It's something that we all live with and deal with. I love old vintage guitars with single coil pickups, like my old Tele and my Strat and stuff. And yeah, it's a bear sometimes. You just gotta find that right position to stand in. And like I said, everybody from Hendrix to Stevie Ray Vaughan to everybody else had to deal with that with single coils, and it just kind of is what it is. It's kind of cool in a way. The noise and that extra stuff that gets in, it's sort of part of the sound. So having said what I just said about editing it all out and editing it all out and all that, sometimes, it's cool. I don't know, it's part of the sound of rock and roll is a little bit of buzz or whatever in the guitar tone. So try and not stress too much about it. Just do the best you can to minimize it, I guess. Brandy's question was also kind of a two-parter. He was wondering about some of the acoustic treatment I have here in the room. I think that I actually covered it last week, like where I got these panels made and stuff. Well, these are custom panels that were made for me in this room. He was mentioning that it doesn't look like I have a lot of foam up or anything like that. And that's actually true. The panels in my room, once again, like this guy right here was designed to, there's another one on the other wall, they were designed to absorb everything below 350 hertz and then diffuse above that, high frequencies. And with the goal of not making the room too dead, you can totally deaden down a room, and then it's, and without sort of achieving the goal of cleaning up the horrendous bass frequencies that can build up in rooms that are less than perfect. If all you do is deaden a room and take away all the top end and you've still got lots of low, mid, and build up and stuff, you haven't really achieved very much. So I've got bass traps in all four corners of my room that are, real thick insulation kind of stuff. And, I'll show a picture of that in the video so you can see what those look like. There's the diffusers on either wall, and then behind my where I'm monitoring here on the wall facing that way, there's a great big panel that's got quite thick. I'm not sure what the stuff they use is, but it's like insulation, and that really soaks up a lot as well. And then I've just got one panel on the back wall to help absorb, and it sounds great in here. In my mix position, in between these two diffusers that I had made, it's super clean. There's no weird zingy stuff going on, and yet it's not totally dead. It's a little bit live. And there's a wood floor in this new room that I'm in now too. So it's just a matter of, the big thing you want to do is bass traps in the corner. I'll say that, like, bass traps in the corners to help soak up all that super low murky stuff that is really, really hard to mix if you've got too much low end buildup in a room and you don't know what's going on in your mix in that case. So I would do bass traps in all the corners, and then just a little bit of stuff on the walls to help absorb and diffuse and stuff like that beyond that, and that really goes a long way towards cleaning up a room and making it easier to work and mix and hear what's going on. Question number 3 comes from David Rolfe. He says he just got a Tone King Metropolitan amp, and it's a stand-in for his, he's got a blackface Fender of some type that he normally uses, so he got the Tone King to use when he can't use his Fender, and he says it has a certain harshness in the upper mids. He's ordered some different tubes for it and see what happens with that, but he's wondering if maybe he should swap the speaker, if that's a good idea, and what speaker would I recommend. At best, I think tube substitution is a subtle change from one preamp tube to the next, or different types of power tubes. Yeah, they make a difference, but it's a subtle change. Where speaker changes is massive. Changing a speaker is half the sound of the amp to me, really. So, you're going to find a big difference switching from, say an Alnico type speaker to a ceramic type, or different ceramic types between one. It's just like a whole world of difference, because the speaker just acts as a total filter on the overall sound of the amp and really affects it in a big way. So if you've got a harsh upper mid thing going, check out my demo on YouTube of the Celestion A-type speaker, I would say. That speaker was purpose designed, I think, to have a smooth top end, and just sounds really, really great, clean and dirty, and has no fizz going on. So if you've got any problems with fizzy top end or anything like that, I heartily recommend trying the A-type. They designed it to be kind of an American style speaker, but Rick from Celestion mentioned to me, he said, try it driven and you'll notice it's got some kind of like greenback qualities to it too, and I would agree with that. So yeah, I've got a demo on YouTube of the Celestion A-type. Go check that out. That could be just the ticket. It seems to work wonders with any amp that's got a little bit of harshness or fizz going on. Next question comes from Chio Morales. He wants to know, he knows I use Logic as a digital audio workstation, but when it comes to video editing, what am I using? What do I use for camera and software and stuff like that? And do I do it all myself? Yes, I generally do it all myself. All my editing and recording and everything. So I started off using iMovie on a Mac to do video stuff, and I used that for years. So like all the early video demos I did up until maybe, 2012 or something, maybe 2013 almost, were all in iMovie. And then I switched over and started using Final Cut Pro. And really, those two programs are getting closer and closer together. You know, much like a GarageBand is sort of like Logic Lite now. I think iMovies looks a lot like Final Cut Pro, and it's getting, you know, Apple brings them closer and closer together. I didn't find Final Cut Pro a hard program to learn how to use, really, and there's a lot of great tutorials out there, so you can look into some, you know, stuff on the web and stuff on how to use either iMovie or Final Cut, and probably get it down to at least a good rudimentary level where you can make decent videos, edit decent videos using either program within a relatively short period of time. So as far as a camera goes, I've got a new Sony a6000. That's what I'm recording on right now, and it's just a terrific camera. It's not an expensive camera. I think maybe it's $600 or $700 or something like that. You know, which is not cheap, but not expensive at all. When it comes to, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on pro level cameras, and what they're doing these days with cameras is incredible. I don't know much about photography or video, but I do know that for, you know, under $2,000 you can get basically like top of the line pro level quality cameras and video happening at this point. Certainly good enough for what I'm doing here in this room. One thing that's really important is lighting. So if you're making videos, get a good like LED bar light or something like that that, you know, lights up your whatever it is, your subject that you're trying to film. And that's really helpful. And I'm not the best at it, that's for sure, but I've got a cheap LED light that I'm using right now, and that seems to work and really be helpful. Like overhead lighting in rooms like this that I'm in is not very flattering. And many of my videos for a long time, I just didn't worry about it. And now I'm trying to get a little bit more, you know, professional about it, I guess, and pay a little bit more attention to it. So yeah, I would say generally like one of those good Sony cameras. It's in the $500 to $600 range, and so some good decent lighting. You should be off and running. Maybe get started using iMovie, making videos, learning how to edit, and then you know, make the jump to Final Cut Pro. It's a good investment. The program drives me a little insane sometimes. It does have some bugs and whatnot, but I've learned how to use it pretty well, and I'm actually pretty comfortable using it. And overall, I like it. Okay, last question, number 5, comes from a guy named Marco, and he wants to know how I set neck relief, and if on you know, like the truss rod adjustment on a guitar, and if I could make a video showing that. Let me grab a guitar, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. I'm not very precise about it, but I'll tell you exactly what I do. I start off by holding the 3rd string at the 1st fret with this finger, and then I hold the 3rd string at the last fret with my thumb like this, and then I look at, it's now acting like a straight edge that's being, you know, held down at either end of the neck, and then I look at the amount of relief in the neck by touching right above the 12th fret, and I make sure that there's a little bit of space there, basically. So as long as you can push the string down just a little bit, and I mean, for me it's like the thickness of a business card or two, then I know I'm in good shape. If there's no relief there and the string is lying flat across the 12th fret, that means your neck is now bowed backwards, and you're going to have buzzing down in this lower area of the neck. If there's a lot of relief, you're going to get some buzzing as you move up the neck this way, and it's going to feel like the action's super high through most of the neck, through this kind of the mid area of the neck. So that's really how I do it. I just hold down the string on either end, and just look at the 12th fret by pushing the string down right there, and just make sure that there's just a little bit of relief there. Sometimes I'll go down here with my thumb down to like the 14th fret, and then I'll look at the area down around the 7th fret and make sure that there's just a little bit of relief there too, even less than what you see here. And I'm talking minuscule amount of relief for me. I like my necks to be almost straight with just a little bit of relief, because I'm kind of wussy, and I don't like high action at all. So that's how I do it. All right, thanks for tuning in and watching another Q&A video. Please send me your questions to facebook.com/guitarnerd. Send me an email there, and I'll see if I can get to them in one of these videos. And I wish you a good day and farewell. Oh, please hit subscribe if you haven't, and come back and see me for more videos. All right, take it easy.